everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into Dynasty Warriors Origins. We've got some really cool stuff to dig into today. From gaming news and reviews to even some wiki deep dives. Perfect for getting you up to speed quickly on what this game's all about. So be ready to find out what makes this game tick and why you should be excited.
Absolutely. I think what's really interesting about Dynasty Warriors Origins is that it's like a fresh take on the franchise. You know, we see that familiar action-packed gameplay, but this time it's interwoven with a more captivating storyline.
Yeah, it's like they took the classic Dynasty Warriors formula and injected it with a dose of narrative depth.
Yeah.
It all starts with the setting. Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Yeah.
Takes us back to the first half of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms novel, a classic tale of war, intrigue, and larger-than-life heroes.
Exactly. And there's a twist. You're not playing as an established character, like Zhao Yun or Guan Yu. Instead, you actually create your own warrior, nicknamed Ziluan. And this immediately personalizes the experience, allowing you to become a part of this epic narrative.
That's so cool. So you're not just reliving history, you're forging your own path within it. So how does this custom character fit into the overarching story?
Well, there's a really intriguing layer to Ziluan's story. They actually start the game with amnesia and gradually piece together their past as they journey through the tumultuous events of the Three Kingdoms. So it adds this personal mystery to unravel alongside the grand historical narrative.
Okay. That's pretty cool. A personal mystery.
Oh.
Unfolding against the backdrop of a massive war. I'm already hooked. So how does the gameplay reflect these narrative choices?
One of the key elements that intertwines the narrative and gameplay is the choice you make in Chapter 3. You have to choose to ally with one of the three major factions, Cao Cao, Liu Bei, or Sun Jian. And this decision dramatically shapes your journey.
It's like choosing your destiny. Each faction has its own motivations, its own cast of characters, and its own path to victory.
Exactly. Your allegiance determines the battles you fight, the allies who fight alongside you, and ultimately, how the story unfolds. It adds a level of replayability that wasn't as prominent in previous games. Do you want to experience the story from Cao's perspective? Play through it again. Make a different choice and see how it changes everything.
That's a clever way to keep players engaged, especially those who want to experience all the nuances of the story.
Yeah.
Speaking of engagement, what about the combat? It wouldn't be Dynasty Warriors without those epic battles.
No, absolutely. The core of the Dynasty Warriors experience remains intact, those exhilarating battles where you face off against hordes of enemies. But even here, Origins introduces some interesting twists. First off, you have a wider arsenal than ever before. We're talking 10 unique weapon types, each with its own feel and playstyle.
10 weapon types. That's incredible. So you get everything from the classic sword to more exotic weapons like the gauntlets or the wheels.
Exactly. And mastering each weapon unlocks new combos and abilities, encouraging you to experiment and find a style that suits you. You might prefer the lance for its crowd control capabilities, sweeping aside entire formations of enemies. Or perhaps you enjoy the up-close and personal brutality of the gauntlets, perfect for those intense duels. And then there are the wheels, which are just satisfyingly powerful.
Yeah. I read some reviews that call the wheels crowd-clearing machines. Sounds like my kind of weapon. But it's not just about hacking and slashing. There's a level of strategy involved, too.
Absolutely. Dynasty Warriors Origins introduces a new layer of depth with battle arts and Mizu attacks. These are special abilities that add a visual spectacle to combat and force you to think strategically.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these battle arts and how they work.
So, as you fight, you accumulate bravery through combat actions. The more bravery you have, the more powerful your Mizu attacks become. These attacks can range from area of effect blasts that clear out crowds of enemies to focus strikes that deal massive damage to single targets. It's all about managing your bravery and unleashing those devastating attacks at the right moment.
So it's not just about button mashing. You need to be mindful of your actions. Build up that bravery, and then choose the right Mizu attack for the situation. That adds a whole new dimension to the combat.
It does. And then there's the ultimate expression of power, the ultimate Mizu attack. This is a supercharged attack that triggers when you fill a special gauge. It's visually stunning and incredibly satisfying to unleash, especially when you're facing off against a particularly tough enemy. It's like watching a fireworks display of pure martial might.
I can only imagine the chaos and satisfaction of racking up those KOs with an ultimate Mizu attack. But wait, there's more.
Right.
I read something about a rage mode.
You're right. Activating rage mode temporarily boosts your attack power and defense. allowing you to unleash a flurry of devastating blows. It's like tapping into your inner warrior spirit, pushing yourself beyond your limits to achieve victory.
It really adds another layer of excitement and strategy to the combat. But the strategic depth of Dynasty Warriors Origins doesn't end there. The game also introduces a system called tactics.
Tactics. Think of tactics as special commands you can issue to your troops on the battlefield. They can range from bolstering your defenses to launching devastating attacks.
So it's like having a mini army at your command.
It is. And using them effectively can be the key to winning those challenging battles, for instance. You can order a volley of fire arrows to rain down upon your enemies, incinerating them in a fiery inferno. But here's where the strategy comes in. Terrain and positioning play a crucial role in maximizing their effectiveness.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So launching a fire arrow attack from higher ground would inflict more damage.
Right. Precisely. It's about thinking tactically, using the environment to your advantage, and outmaneuvering your opponents. It adds a layer of depth that really elevates the gameplay beyond simple button mashing.
It sounds like they've really put a lot of thought into the strategic elements of Dynasty Warriors Origins. But what about those of us who just want to jump in and experience the story without worrying too much about tactics?
Well, the game caters to different play styles. You can certainly play through on easier difficulty settings and enjoy the narrative without getting bogged down in the finer points of strategy.
Oh, yeah.
For those who crave a challenge, there's something truly special waiting for you, the ultimate difficulty mode.
Ah, yes, the ultimate difficulty. I read that it's only unlocked after you've beaten the game once. Is it as brutal as they say?
It is not for the faint of heart. The AI is incredibly aggressive, the enemies hit harder, and their combos are relentless. It's a true test of skill, demanding mastery of the combat system, strategic use of tactics, and a deep understanding of each weapon's strengths and weaknesses.
Wow, it sounds intense. I might need to practice a bit before I tackle that challenge.
Yeah.
But hey, even beyond those massive battles, there's a whole world to explore.
Right.
I read about a visually stunning world map.
You're absolutely right. Dynasty Warriors Origins features a beautifully crafted world map that's brought to life like a diorama. And it's not just a pretty backdrop, it's teeming with side missions, skirmishes, and even shops to visit.
So it's like a living, breathing world, filled with opportunities for adventure beyond the main storyline.
Exactly. You can engage in skirmishes to test your skills, complete side missions to earn rewards and unlock special items, or simply wander around and enjoy the scenery. It's a great way to immerse yourself in the world of the Three Kingdoms and experience those quieter moments between battles.
It's those little details that really bring a game to life. And speaking of details, we can't forget about the new customization system with pyroxene gems. I have to admit, when I first read about them, I was a little confused about how they worked.
They're actually quite intuitive. Throughout the game, you'll collect these pyroxene gems, and you can then use them to craft special gems at inns.
So it's like a crafting system for enhancing your character's ability.
Precisely. Each gem type offers unique benefits, allowing you to fine-tune your character's strengths and tailor them to your preferred playstyle. For instance, there's the Wellspring gem, which restores your health for every 100 enemies you defeat. It's a real lifesaver, especially in those chaotic battles where you're constantly surrounded by enemies.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially for players like me, who might not be masters of dodging and weaving through enemy attacks. What other interesting gems are there?
There's a gem for practically every playstyle, if you prefer close-range combat. The Oblivion gem increases your weapon's reach, allowing you to land those devastating blows from a safer distance. And for those who love racking up those impressive air juggles, the Vortex gem boosts damage to airborne enemies, amplifying the spectacle of those crowd-clearing combos.
So there's a real element of strategy in choosing the right gems and crafting a build that complements your playstyle. It adds a whole new level of depth to the character progression, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And what's even more interesting is that you can level up these gems, making their effects even more potent. It encourages you to experiment, try different combinations, and really optimize your character's potential.
It sounds like they've taken the classic Dynasty Warriors formula and injected it with a healthy dose of modern RPG elements. It's familiar, yet fresh, offering something for both veteran players and newcomers to the franchise.
That's a great way to put it. Dynasty Warriors Origins feels like a celebration of the franchise's legacy, while simultaneously pushing it forward in new and exciting directions.
And the best part is that it seems to be resonating with players. I've been reading some incredibly positive reviews with many critics calling it the best Dynasty Warriors game in years. What do you think it is about Dynasty Warriors Origins that's capturing the hearts of players and critics alike?
It's a combination of factors, I think. The enhanced narrative, the deeper combat system, the strategic elements, the beautiful visuals, they all come together to create a truly compelling and engaging experience.
And that personal touch with the custom character, Ziluan, adds a layer of emotional investment that wasn't as prominent in previous games.
Absolutely. Players aren't just witnessing history, they're becoming a part of it, forging their own destiny within this epic tale. And that's a powerful feeling.
That sounds like Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Origins is more than just a game. It's an experience.
I completely agree. It's an invitation to step into the world of the Three Kingdoms, to feel the weight of history, to experience the thrill of battle, and to ultimately carve your own path to glory.
I'm feeling pumped just talking about it.
Adam.
What about you, our listener? Are you ready to embark on this epic adventure? Are you ready to choose your faction, master your weapons, and become a legend in the world of Dynasty Warriors Origins?
The choice is yours. But before you make that decision, let's take a closer look at one of the most intriguing aspects of the game, Ziluan's amnesia, and the mystery surrounding their past. This is where things get really fascinating.
Oh, I love a good mystery. So, tell me, what do we know about Ziluan's lost memories? And how does it tie into the overarching narrative?
Well, from what we've gathered from gameplay footage and early reviews, Ziluan's amnesia isn't just a random plot device. It's woven into the very fabric of the story, serving as a catalyst for their journey of self-discovery and their role in the events of the Three Kingdoms.
So it's not just about reclaiming their past. It's about understanding how their past shapes their present and their future right. It sounds like there's a real emotional depth to Ziluan's story.
There is, and it's revealed gradually throughout the game, through flashbacks, conversations with other characters, and even subtle hints hidden within the environment. It's a mystery that unravels slowly, layer by layer, keeping you engaged and invested in Ziluan's journey.
And I imagine choosing different factions might also reveal different facets of Ziluan's past right. After all, each faction has its own secrets and its own perspective on history.
That's a great observation. Your choice of allegiance will undoubtedly influence how Ziluan's memories resurface and how they ultimately understand their place in this complex web of historical events.
It's like each playthrough offers a different piece of the puzzle, encouraging you to explore all the possibilities and uncover the full truth of Ziluan's past. But wait, there's another aspect of the narrative that I'm really curious about. The potential for romance between Ziluan and other warriors.
Ah, yes, the unexpected twist that has everyone talking. It seems that Dynasty Warriors Origins isn't just about war and politics. It's about forging deep bonds with your comrades, some of which can even blossom into romantic relationships.
It's like they've taken those classic warrior pairings and added a layer of emotional complexity. But how does it actually play out in the game? Are there specific romance options, or is it more subtle than that?
From what we've seen, it seems to be a mix of both. There are definitely certain characters who have a stronger connection with Ziluan, leading to unique dialogue options, special cutscenes, and even exclusive missions that focus on developing their relationship.
So you're not just fighting alongside these characters, you're building friendships, rivalries, and maybe even something more. It adds a whole new dimension to the character interactions, doesn't it?
It does. And it seems that the developers have handled it with a surprising level of nuance and sensitivity. It's not just tacked on for the sake of fan service. It feels like a natural extension of the characters' personalities and the bonds they forge on the battlefield.
I have to admit, I'm really intrigued to see how these romantic relationships play out. It's not something I expected from a Dynasty Warriors game, but it definitely adds a layer of intrigue and emotional depth that I'm looking forward to exploring.
It's a testament to the developers' willingness to push the boundaries of the franchise and explore new storytelling avenues.
And it's a reminder that even amidst the chaos and brutality of war, there's always room for human connection and even love.
That's a beautiful thought. And it speaks to the universality of the themes explored in Dynasty Warriors Origins.
It's a game that's not just about conquering enemies. It's about conquering hearts, forging alliances, and finding your place in a world torn apart by conflict.
It's about finding your own path, your own destiny, and your own definition of what it means to be a true warrior.
And on that note, I think it's time to move on to another exciting aspect of Dynasty Warriors Origins, one that truly showcases the power of the PS5 hardware. We're talking about the game's stunning visuals.
Ah, yes, the visual feast that is Dynasty Warriors Origins. From what we've seen in trailers and gameplay demos, the developers have really pushed the boundaries of what's possible on the PS5.
The detail, the sheer number of enemies on screen at once, it's mind-blowing.
It is one of the goals the developers set for themselves was to have 10,000 soldiers displayed on screen simultaneously.
10,000 soldiers, that's insane. I can only imagine the chaos and the epic scale of those battles.
It's a testament to the power of the PS5's hardware and the developer's skill in optimizing the game to handle such a massive number of characters on screen at once.
But it's not just about quantity, right? The quality of those visuals is equally impressive.
Absolutely. The character models are incredibly detailed, the environments are vast and immersive, and the animations are fluid and lifelike.
I've read that the world map in particular is a visual masterpiece. It's been described as a living diorama, which sounds absolutely incredible.
It really is. The level of detail is astonishing. You can zoom in and see individual trees swaying in the wind, birds flying overhead, and even tiny villages bustling with life. It's a world that begs to be explored.
It sounds like they've created a truly immersive and visually stunning experience, one that really takes advantage of the PS5's capabilities.
They have, and it's not just about the raw graphical power, it's about the artistic vision that brings it all together. The use of color lighting and composition, it all works in harmony to create a world that's both beautiful and believable.
And let's not forget about the special effects, especially for those Mizu attacks. I've seen some gameplay footage, and those attacks are like watching a fireworks display of pure martial arts mastery.
Are spectacular. The particle effects, the dynamic lighting, the sheer energy that emanates from those attacks. It's a visual treat.
It's like they've turned combat into an art form.
Exactly. It's both beautiful and brutal, captivating and awe-inspiring.
And that's what makes Dynasty Warriors Origins so special. It's a game that's not afraid to push the boundaries, to blend classic gameplay with modern technology, and to tell a story that's both epic in scope and deeply personal in its execution.
It's a game that offers something for everyone, whether you're a longtime fan of the franchise or a newcomer looking for an exhilarating and visually stunning experience.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into Dynasty Warriors Origins. But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought. If you're looking for a game that combines heart-pounding action, intriguing storytelling, and stunning visuals, then look no further than Dynasty Warriors Origins. It's a game that will transport you to a world of ancient China, immerse you in its rich history and culture, and challenge you to become a legend in your own right.
And as always, we've included links to all the sources we used in the show notes, so be sure to check those out if you want to delve even deeper into the world of Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep playing, and keep diving deep.